Hi, I'm Emily Beachy, the Creative Director for Heartfelt Creations. This is our second video on the Sunny Day collection. In this video, we'll be showing you how to use the main images in conjunction with the dimensional florals that you might already have. And then I'll be using a journaling block from the Sunny Day paper collection. So I invite you to follow along. This is the project that we'll be working on. We'll be coloring the vintage pump, but the first thing we'll be doing is using the burlap background to create that fun texture. I'm using the old paper distress ink, and we're going to be using two different inks on this background. Just ink up the burlap background. It's okay if it's not inked properly. Just kind of do it randomly and then give it some firm, even pressure. And I'm actually just stamping right over the pump because anything that we're covering will be covered by the coloring that we'll do on the pump. Usually I use a red stamp mat when I'm stamping with a large image, but since I'm not picky about it stamping well, I'm not using that today. So I have a little bit of a gap in there, so I'll just go back and press that. Actually, I'll need to add some more ink, so that does stamp more. So I'll just stamp that corner in there a little bit. Okay, so once you've done that, peel your stamp off of your background, and I'm using the Walnut Stain Distress ink, and I'm randomly just inking that up. You can see that it actually looks kind of splotchy on this side, but then I'm just going to use this without the acrylic block and just press it down, and that gives it some darker background in there. If you want to have it darker, you can even add more ink if it's not coming out dark enough for you. Just add some down in that corner, a little bit over here yet, and I want a little bit more ink on there. So we'll just reapply it. I want it to be a little bit darker brown right around the pump area. So you can do this very randomly. I love doing a background like this. It's very quick and easy, and you get some really distressed results. So that looks correct. Now we're ready to go back and color that pump image. I'm coloring the pump with the Walnut Stain ink and a little sponge dauber. Since this is kind of a distressed pump, this is a quick coloring method. I pre-colored the leaves and the flowers on this image with some Copic markers since they were a little bit finer detail. With a sponge you can't get really small areas, but for a bigger area like this pump it's perfect. So you'll just color this very quickly. It doesn't have to be shaded or blended perfectly, because after all it's more of a rustic or antique image. So we'll just finish this down here. Just press a little bit harder in the area that you want to add a darker shading, and just lighten it when you're going through your light areas. And that wraps up the coloring of the pump. And now we're ready to do some cutting with our x-acto knife. The main images in the Sunny Day collection are supposed to be used as backgrounds, and then you can just add these little flowers on top. I did want to raise this up a little bit, so I cut along this edge with the x-acto knife and tucked my little journaling block behind it. So to do that, you will take your x-acto knife, and I started about right here on the image. And what you can do if you're at home doing this is you can lay your little block on top like this and kind of see where you want to start cutting. And you could see for this one, let me just move it over just a little bit because we'll layer this on a brown mat. We'll actually start it like right in here, and we'll go down to here. So I just kind of make a mark to how far I have to cut, and then you'll just take your x-acto knife and really quickly just go along the edge of this pump. Now I will move this around, and those flowers right there will actually go underneath the journaling block, so you don't have to cut those out. So we'll just make a straight cut in here, and we'll go down to our mark down here, and this is cut. Now when you bring this up, you can just pull it apart, make sure everything's cut well. And then we'll just slide this in here and make sure that it looks right. You know, see, that's kind of popped up like that, so that means it didn't cut down as far as I should have. So let's just move that down. Cut it open a little bit further. There is a flower there, but I'm just going to cut straight through it. That's easier. Let's see if this is correct. Pull that up. And that's perfect because you can pull this out a little bit. You have an even edge on all sides. So we're ready to mat this and finish it with the flowers. I matted this on a piece of cardstock, stamped the sentiment, and then we're ready to, I just put some glue on the back and we're ready to slip this into the back of the pump. So let's just bring this in, pull this out a little bit, push that down, and pull this over a little bit so both sides are even on the top and the side there. Okay, that's perfect. And then you're ready to add your flowers. For the flowers, I colored them with a Copic marker and then just added some glitter into the center. These flowers are from the Posy Patch pre-cut set. Cut them out with a coordinating die. And then I used the leaves and just added those to the background. So in a very small amount of time, you've got your image colored, some dimensional flowers to the top, and you can add any sentiment of your choice to this card and you'll have the perfect project for your friend. Have fun incorporating these techniques with your Sunny Day collection, and we will see you next time.